iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Well, welcome in here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series for red light racing right here from the famous speedway that they call the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. My name is Roger Muth to bring you all the racing action here tonight, high above the speedway in our virtual Turn 3 racing studios. And alongside me here tonight is Al Smith from his home in New York. Al, welcome here virtually to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway here tonight. Red light racing in the midst of a playoff championship hunt for these drivers. As last week we were at Michigan, tonight we're here to cut a couple drivers out of the playoff championship here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, we're going to come into these very fast speedway. Practice was really intense. These drivers know a lot on the line here tonight, Roger. And not only that, we have 14 drivers. One of those are already locked in to the next round of the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler playoffs. Well, 6 drivers will get eliminated from their championship hopes there tonight. A lot on the line here at this mile and a half in Las Vegas.
One driver that is locked in, his name is DJ Anderson, the driver out of Virginia. He picked up the win last week at the Michigan International Speedway there with the 1987 Winston Cup cars. He was able to outduel Sean Butler and Jason Wells at the end of that one. So Anderson is locked in. He doesn't have to worry about anything. The drivers, though, that are on that fringe that really need to worry, Michael Trevarthen, Max Terriot, Blade Timmons, Joe Strano, Zach Mitchell, Ethan Troutman, Sean Single, and Chris Hammett. Those drivers are all the drivers that are sitting 7th on back through the championship standings. Your top 5, top 6 drivers, though, they look pretty good coming in. DJ Anderson, of course, is locked in. Sean Butler has himself a really good gap right now. He is 2nd overall. Then it's Jason Wells, James Skelton, Richard Murdoch, and Jeffrey Souza. Everybody below Souza, though, looks really, really tight in the championship standings. So we will see who will be able to advance into the next round and who will be left on the outside battling for the best of the rest championship that we will tally up at the end of the season. Qualifying right now is currently underway, and it does look like we will roll here tonight with 27 drivers that have made their way here to the famous Las Vegas Motor Speedway here tonight. Now let's take you down trackside to get you ready. This is your starting lineup brought to us by our friends over at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Of course, the Checkered Flag Auto Supply located in Ayer, Massachusetts, having all the parts to keep your car running on the road smoothly. Check out the locally owned and friendly staff at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Starting on the front row, though, he finished second last week. He's back here tonight with the quick time. It's going to be Sean Butler starting on the front row. To his outside, he finished third last week. Number 64, this is Jason Wells. James Skelton will go third, while Michael Trevarthen is back there in fourth. Fifth will go to the driver of car 62. That's Ethan Troutman. Max Terrio in car number 42, one of those championship hopefuls. He's in sixth. Seventh goes to the man that really got to get on the loud pedal here tonight and finish inside the top five. That's car number 6, Chris Hammett. Zach Mitchell's there in 8th. DJ Anderson is locked in. He's in 9th. And Brandon Feeney rounds out the top 10.
Starting on the inside of row number 6 in the Ferda Motorsports, car number 5, this is Brandon Minto. Outside of him, the 0-1 of Richard Murdoch. Sean Single and Jeffrey Souza will make up row number 7. Blade Timmons and Tim Combs in row 8. 17th will go to the Canadian Bragg Motorsports. This is Dave Bragg in car number 31. Travis Minto will roll off 18th in car number 19. Philly Edwards and Joe Strano round out your top 10 rows.
Starting back into the 21st position, it's Granny Hips himself. The number 13 of Joshua Buckley, Rob Higgins in the Higgins Hill Racing Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Number 40 is back there to start in 22nd. 23rd here tonight will go to the Canadian Bacon Eater. That's the Rev Esports number 45 of Tim Williams. Bruce Potter in car number 59 will start 24th. Down under, that's the Aussie. The 184 of Kevin O'Brien will start back there in 25th. Bob Higgins, last night's surprise winner. We say surprise, and, well, it's not really that big of a surprise. Bob Higgins won last night, and then it's going to be, well, his fault, Mr. Tony Strano, rounding out the field. That is your 27-car field here tonight for our race here at Las Vegas. 14 drivers enter. It will only be 8 drivers that come out of Viva Las Vegas who will gamble here tonight. Butler and Wells on the front row. Line them up. Here we go. The green flag is up tonight, and we're racing in Las Vegas.
Up through the gearbox, they're going to run into turn number 1. Butler on the inside, showing the way, getting through the bumps through turns 1 and 2, that inside line. That is the fast way, but very treacherous with the bumps as they work down the novice backstretch here in Las Vegas for the first time in the turn number 3. Butler looking to lead the field off turn number 4.
Sean Butler picking right up where he left off last week, and that was towards the front of the field. He'll lead lap number 1 here tonight. One driver down. A couple of them going to pile it up down here off of turn number 4. Caution lights are going to come on onto the speedway. One car spinning down to the infield. One car very tore up into the outside wall. That's the number 40, I believe, of Rob Higgins. Is all tore up in that Checkered Flag Auto Supply number 40 to bring the first caution flag of the evening. A championship driver also involved. There's the driver out of South Carolina driving the Adventure in Pixels machine. That is Richard Murdoch. So Murdoch is wrapped up. That's one of the championship drivers here tonight who, well, he came in looking pretty good, but now smoke bellowing out of the back of that Chevrolet, and it's going to be a long road to hoe now here for the 01 of Richard Murdoch. We're waiting for the truck to tell us what happened here. Let's take a look here high above the speedway. There you see it already happening off turn number 4. There's Philly Edwards. There's, looks like the Liquid Molly number 38 of Feeney. There you see Potter down there. Joe Strano's down on pit road to try and avoid all this. We'll have to take a look back here, see what happens off 4. Oh, Feeney gets a little loose, it looks like, and he's going to pile him in. There you see Blade Timmons go cruising through the grass before you see everybody else coming to a rest out onto the front straightaway. Philly Edwards, you see him returning back to the track, and there's the number 40. Let's ride on board here with Joe Strano. You're riding on board. Talk about nowhere to go, clogged up on the bottom side. Oh, it was a hip check there, actually, Al. One driver was loose. That was Blade Timmons down to the exit of turn number 4 into the 38 of Brandon Feeney. And it kind of caused the rest of the drivers to take evasive action.
Yeah, there's a tough break, nowhere to go. And here at Las Vegas, Roger, these drivers are going to be all up on top of each other, especially on the restarts, and that was to be in the initial start. Fresh tires ready to go with these drivers, and they have a lot on the line here tonight for some of those drivers. And it is not going to be a good way to start the start of this race here tonight. With 90 laps doesn't seem like a long distance, and it'll go by in a blink of an eye. these drivers know what's on the line.
Yeah, a mile and a half here at Las Vegas, and it's kind of plays like a super speedway when we bring these Gander outdoor trucks out onto the speedway. This will be the last time this season we will see the Gander outdoor trucks, the Toyota, the Silverado, and then, well, I think they circle the prowl. I think they call themselves the Ford. So it'll be the last time. We did see them back at Darlington. They played I want to say a pretty sweet tune back in December as they danced and waltzed their way through Darlington. And then at Atlanta, they slipped and slide all around. That was back on November the 1st to open up the season. So it seems like a very long time since we've seen these Gander outdoor trucks, but it is here tonight at Las Vegas for the final time. Next week, when we do make it to the round of 8, we'll bring out the Next Generation Cup car. Of course, I guess at this point, you can't really call it the Next Gen because it is here as of this coming weekend. It will be here. And we'll see them at Phoenix. And last time we saw them, it was back at Kansas. And before that, it was at the Iowa Speedway. So a totally different car package than what we're going to see here tonight. And, of course, Al, the iRacing update as of the other day changed the entire complexity and the way, the attitude, everything about that, well, next generation car. Because it's now got the updated horsepower package and draft package.
Yeah, updated horsepower on those cars. I think that's a 650, 657, whatever odd number that they ended up going with. But excited to see how it's going to be out here on the racing surface. And, well, we're going to head out to the desert to see that. And I believe that's 1 week's time. It'll be next Monday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And we got to thank all of our great fans for tuning in here tonight, Roger. But the lights are out on the iRacing pace car. It's ready to go to the safe haven of Pit Road. We're going to go back green flag racing here in this 90-lap affair for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series.
All but 2 drivers did make it back out onto the raceway. Philly Edwards and Richard Murdoch have not been able to make their way back out onto the speedway. So Murdoch being scored in 27th here tonight. Philly Edwards is being scored 26th. Everybody else has made it back out onto the raceway. A couple drivers did come down, top off the fuel cells here. So they have a little bit of more go-go gas to see how far they can go here tonight. Come back into the restart zone, though. It'll be 5 laps officially completed here tonight out of the 90 scheduled. Sean Butler, James Skelton, Jason Wells, Michael Trevarthen, Ethan Troutman, your top 5 as we are green flag racing. Another great restart by everybody. Everybody coming up through the gears. It looks like everybody still has a solid pony under the hood.
Everybody working good down in the turn number 1. Still 2x2 for second place on back is now Butler. Squirts out in front of that Alien Raceway. Number 64 of Wells. Wells right to the back. Trunk lid down in the turn number 3. And it'll still side by side. And Roger, we made I missed the comment there. Murdoch still on pit road. One of those championship drivers came in just 10 points behind your race leader for the championship standings. So he's going to have to try to get back out and hope that maybe we have a little bit more of attrition out there where he can pick up some spots and try to lock himself into the next round of the playoffs.
Right now, it's 4 of those championship drivers. Look at the top 10. It is just littered with blue on the left-hand side of your screen. You do see the green number 51 of DJ Anderson. That is alluding to, well, he is into the next round of the championship playoffs. Everybody else still fighting for a spot. And yes, we will see if Richard Murdoch will be able to get the 0-1 back out there. He needs all the points he can get. Here comes Wells screaming to the outside. That alien number 64 trying to take the race lead here on lap number 8. He has it down the back straightaway just by about the splitter. Butler's going to have the lower line. He's got the shorter distance around 3 and 4. But look at them all scream off turn 4.
Still side by side. Wells going to lead lap number 8. Going to work lap number 9. Butler challenging back. They're still 2x2 all the way around the speedway. You don't look now at Jurassic Park number 11. Working to the outside right there behind that number 24 of Mitchell. Sean Single looking to take a bite out of the competition here tonight.
Well, he's got the barber saw can in hand here tonight in case he's going to need it. There he's back there running into the 8th position. He's down 4 spots, though, as a new race leader off turn number 4. That'll be the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. He shot down to the bottom side with a great run off turn number 4. It will be the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen now leading that time by at the line. So our 3rd race leader of the evening here with just 9 laps officially completed. And the 88 of Sean Butler starting to fade on the bottom side of the speedway is maybe conserving a little bit of gas. It is a 1.5-mile speedway, and he likes to save gas when we come here to the 1.5 miles.
and that's going to play into the key feature. We saw some people come down pit road during that last yellow flag, or the only yellow flag of the evening, top off with fuel. They're going to be able to stretch a little bit longer, get a little bit on a different strategy here tonight as we look at the battle working through turns 1 and 2. And the tires are going to give up. Don't want to go too hard because you're going to go flying back through the field like you're tied to a boat anchor. But you also can't just ride around and hope that these guys are going to give you an opportunity to come down pit road. So a lot of strategy being played right now. As the top 3 make it 4. Now I'll go single file. As I say that, they jump out side by side for the race lead.
That race lead side-by-side battle went really quickly, though, because Wells wanted to go right back down to the bottom. He wanted to see if he could cross over that number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Wasn't quite able to get down to the bottom side, so Trevarthen will lead us down the back straightaway. Now Wells has a run down the back straightaway. He'll get a little help from the 88 of Sean Butler, and to be able to pull the 64 side-by-side with truck number 2 down here in 3 and 4. Trevarthen to the outside. Wells down to the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to take a lap lead here tonight. Wells will go back down to the bottom side. He has the run. He will lead lap number 12 here. So it'll be Wells across the line. Michael Trevarthen sitting in second. Sean Butler is third. Max Terriel is sitting back there in the 4th spot. How about Chris Hammett, who came into the night saying that Chris Hammett needed to have a run here tonight that put him in the top 5. Right now he is sitting 4th as he just got around the 42 of Max Terriel. So Terriel now back to running into that 5th position. So far the biggest mover and shaker at the dance here tonight, it's going to be the number 31 of Dave Bragg, and I was talking to his good old buddy Brandon Feeney this weekend. There's one driver coming to pit road, that's Joe Strano, but Brandon Feeney stopped over at the Jiffy Lube complex, and, well, Al, if you believe it or not, the door was left wide open, and Dave Bragg was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he was working on it, number 31, getting it all lubed up, ready to go racing.
Well, you never know. That truck is slick here tonight. And there you see the Jiffy Lube number 31 picking up 8 spots here in the early going. He is the biggest mover and shaker at the dance, as we're already going to be 14 laps this time into the book. Wells is out front, and he has actually started to extend his race lead. These trucks do punch a big hole in the air, so the draft here tonight will play a big factor. We'll see if Sean Butler can clear the number 2, though, of Michael Trevarthen, and then hopefully they can close back in on the back bumper of that Alienware number 64, because Wells, if he can get out front, he is definitely an alien, and it might be a little too late if you let him kind of squirm away into the great wide open.
Yeah, I'm taking a look back in the back towards the tail end of the field here, the 17, Tim Combs and Bruce Potter side by side. I kind of like their strategy, staying just in touch with that lead draft, but giving themselves some space in case we have another big one, as these guys are all racing hard around this 1.5 mile Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As they go down to the Dallas straightaway, they are flying around this racetrack, clicking laps off here tonight. They're still side by side for that 3rd spot as Trevarthen is broken away, single file. I think those race leaders like to see the double file behind them, as it allows them to open up a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, that's the number 6 of Chris Hammett to the outside of the 88 of Sean Butler. So Butler is, well, once again floundering down to the bottom side of the speedway. I alluded to it, possibly trying to save some fuel. He let the 6 go. Now here comes the 42. Max Terriel's coming up. And you talked about the hard-nosed racing. Well, take a peek at this. This is the last driver that is in the front pack, and it's just one pack around the speedway here, and it's a driver out of New South Wales, Australia. It's Kevin O'Brien. He's back there running into the 23rd position. That is only currently 3.5 seconds behind your race leader. So 3.5 seconds. If something happens up front, Kevin O'Brien is still technically considered in the danger zone here tonight. That he could still be wadded up into a wreck, but out front it is still single file for 1st through 4th right now. Sean Butler has fallen back and running in the 5th spot. He's now under pressure by the 24. That's the Rainbow Warrior number 24 of Zach Mitchell. Mitchell not going to be able to do anything with it. He'll tuck back in line. So right now it looks like your top, call it 7 drivers, have gone single file here on lap number 19. And as the laps click off here, I'm looking at it, maybe about 10 laps at most away from coming to Green Flag Racing pit stops here tonight. If we can get these trucks to go 30 laps here tonight at Las Vegas, I'll be impressed with how flat wide open they have been.
Yeah, definitely going to running in that 2nd spot, not punching the hole. Maybe you'd be able to breathe that throttle maybe back to 3/4 or maybe 0.8 of a full gas pedal down to the floorboard. Saves a little bit there. These guys running out front, though, put in a blistering pace. Last time by 31.26. So not really only falling off 4/10 since they went green flag racing, Roger. You gotta wonder, is the balance on these race trucks starting to change now as the fuel load's getting lighter, the tires are getting a little bit hot and maybe worn out? Are they going to need tires before they need fuel here? And working lap number 20 to put working off of turn number 4, as I got all twisted in my mind.
Yeah, looking at the skyline here at Las Vegas, getting mesmerized by all the lights downtown Las Vegas, but the stars and the cars are on the speedway. Wells still continuing to lead here. One driver coming back out onto the raceway. That was the 38 of Brandon Feeney. He will come back out here. He is being scored currently back into, I believe that is the 25th position, showing 11 laps down. Richard Murdoch still down on pit road, 17 laps down, running in the 26th position. His crew is furiously banging and tinkering on car 01 currently, as Philly Edwards here tonight also down on pit road. 2 drivers wrapped up in lap number 2. The yellow flag here to bring out the first caution flag, and the only caution flag so far here tonight, as we have been having some good battles. Here comes the 42 of Max Terrell. He's to the inside now. He's got the 88 of Sean Butler pushing him. That's Scott's Ford. That's Scotts.com, that Miracle Grow. Al, I tried it on my hairline, and it didn't help me any.
No, definitely did not. Did you put the manure on there? Because you might have needed it on that. But anyway, he is working the outside, and that truck reminds me of our good old friend Farmer Carl. Remember him?
Oh, yeah. Cousin Carl, as he was known when he was turning laps in NASCAR, has now turned into a farmer. And, of course, he ran that truck for many years when he was coming up through the ranks of NASCAR. And Chris Hammett, he has a soft spot, I think, for Cousin Carl, along with that other driver. I think they called him, it was like the ageless wonder of Mark Martin or something.
Oh, yeah. Good old Marky Mark. And love that. Love the paint scheme. Though, looking at there at the 24, Zach Mitchell, and sending me back to my younger days of watching the Rainbow Warrior race these guys around the racetrack, as Mitchell really side straps off the right rear quarter panel. As you saw the up front, the 64 of Wells, way down on the racetrack, trying to break that draft down the backstretch, trying to get Trevarthen out of it. But now the top 3 are going to come down pit road, so we got pit stops on working lap 24.
Yeah, late decision there by the 64 of Wells to actually come to pit road. You saw Trevarthen really break down off there in corner number 4. He was committed to come to pit road, and all of a sudden Wells yanked out the old boat anchor out of that Alienware entry. And, well, I think it was actually his Logitech keyboard that he threw down there, and that just kind of propelled that car down pit road. So it'll be Wells, Trevarthen, Hammett, Minto, Combs, and Travis Minto all to pit road. That leaves the 42 of Max Terriot out there. And now here they all come on lap number 25. 1 driver staying out, 2 drivers staying out. A handful now. But here comes Max Terriot, Zach Mitchell, Sean Butler, James Skelton, and Sean Single, and a slew of other drivers now coming on to pit road.
Yeah, Theriot really attacking pit road, and that wily veteran from north of the border knows how to get on and off of pit road. We see it time and time out that his on and off pit road usually beats some of the competition. We'll see if he gets a speeding penalty. Really had to lock up the rear tires, and they did a good job saving that truck. It could have easily gone
One
around.
driver going around, coming to pit row. That's the 13 of Joshua Buckley. I believe him and the 46 of Tim Williams maybe made a little contact there. There you see the old granny hips number 13. That Chevrolet was aimed at the inside wall. We'll see if our crew has a entry to pit road for the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. He'll find his pit stall, though. His crew will go to work. There you see him. There's some damage on the left-hand side of that truck. He was definitely into the inside wall as he was coming to pit road. We will see. Let's take a look back here. I believe they have it right here. Here comes the 13. He's trying to slow it up, wheel hops it, and then when he turns to pit road, he was too heavy, hit the gas or hit the brakes into the inside wall. Car number 13 went. Josh Buckley, and that was the 45 there of Tim Williams making the contact coming out of turn number 4, coming to pit road. So that would put a little damage on those machines as we come back live. This should be the race leader when this all cycles back through. Should be Wells and Terriot out front here, as Timmons, O'Brien, and Tony Strano are currently still sitting on pit road.
Yeah, they're working off pit road now. Those 3 drivers are going to get up through the gearbox once they get off pit road. But your race leader is going to be the 64 of Wells, and he's got the back trunk deck full of that 42 of Max Stereo. They're going to peek to the outside, try to get some air on that right front to get the downforce down. can't get a good run off of turn number 2. Is now here comes Trevarthen in at number 2. He is making a 3-car dance for your race lead.
And don't count out the 6 of Chris Hammond. He is there. Remember, I talked about these big spoilers on these trucks, punching a huge air dam in the air here tonight, so the truck that's behind them can really suck up. Like right now, if you are Zach Mitchell, you'll love to see those trucks out in front of you because he is getting a tow. That's giving the 88 of Sean Butler a tow, and then even the 11 of Sean Single back there, who's running in 7th, he's getting a tow, and that's pulling Jeffrey Souza and James Skelton right back with it. But then you look behind them, you see 2 trucks side by side. That's the pink number 19 out of Norman, Oklahoma, of Travis Minto to the outside, and Tennessee's own number 62 of Ethan Troutman. They were side by side. They were losing time to that front group of cars.
Yeah, right now they're about 4/10 behind the 6-88 of Butler. So now they get single file trying to catch up to him. We'll see if they're able to do so. One driver throwing the block, though. That was the number 5, I believe, or that's the right there behind the 19. That was the 5 of Brandon Minto. He put the cap on that Baja Blast, number 51 of Anderson. Now they're starting to jostle it back up 2 by 2 behind them. That's only going to hurt their momentum on trying to catch that lead duo as Max Stereo all over the back bumper.
Max trying to take back the race lead. They're side by side, though, right behind him. That's the 88 of Sean Butler. He is to the outside of the 24 of Zach Mitchell. Mitchell will fall back in line. That's going to allow the 11 of Sean Single to really start to close the gap up on that lead pack. And take a look at this race, fans. A fan of the Red Light Racing Series, right before we came live onto the air here tonight, submitted a picture. Sean Single, take a look at it, race fans. Sean Single all dressed up, handsome, and cheesing from ear to ear as a baby. And ladies, if you're tuning in tonight, I can inform you that Sean Single is no longer single, as his last name alludes to it. So we're sorry. We know the baby picture is absolutely adorable. And we got to thank the anonymous fan here tonight that did send in that picture. Al, he's just so darn cute.
I can't believe that's him, but he's under some troubles. That Jurassic Park number 11 of Single starting to fall back to the field as you brought up that picture, Roger. Maybe he got a little distracted, but now he's falling back outside the top 10.
Sometimes you wonder if drivers are out there listening to us, and I think that's what just happened to Sean. He was trying to peek over at what was going on in the live feed here and kind of got himself all kind of cattywampus and now dropped 3 spots. He's still inside the top 15, but now he's back there running into 12th. He started 13th here tonight. He's right ahead of the number 5 of Brandon Minto. Stuck in between a Minto sandwich. I don't know if that's where I'd want to be right now. Out front, it's still going to be Jason Wells. Nothing has changed at the top of the leaderboard. It's Wells, it's Butler. It's Terriot, Trevarthen, Hammett, Skelton now picking up the 6th spot as we continue to watch this battle for the top 10 spots here. This pack back here being led by the number 51 of DJ Anderson. One driver coming to pit road right now. I believe that was the Philly Edwards entry. He will go right back to pit road. He did pick up that 1 spot from Richard Murdoch, so now Murdoch back to 27th. Philly Edwards is 26th.
For the change via race lead off turn number 2, Sean Butler with a power move in the turn number 1. Just drove around that Elliott Raceway, number 64 of Wells, and now is your new race leader. Wells back to 2nd. Trevarthen 3rd. Theriot back to 4th as now he's being challenged by Hammett to his outside as those two are battling for a spot into the next round of the Checkered Flag All Supply playoffs. Side by side now, look at the Wells right to the inside, loses the front end up the racetrack, and has to back out of it. Trevarthen with a nowhere to go, all up the back out of it. It's 6 cars turn around blinking in turn number 3.
Here comes the 42. Max Terriot will work down to the bottom side of the speedway. They do have lap traffic dead ahead of them. That will be the 59 of Bruce Potter. Lost the draft and a little slowdown on pit road. It does look like a speeding penalty entering pit road for Bruce Potter. He spent 30 seconds down in his pit stall, 1 minute and 2 seconds from cone to cone. That is not where you want to be. Joshua Buckley also spending a little extra time in his pit stall. He's running 22nd right now. He would also be the next driver up on that bubble here, working lap number 37. With this time by, we will complete lap number 37 as Sean Butler is your race leader. Your top 8 drivers have not secured themselves a ticket into the next round of the playoffs, so they want to try at this point. Remember, 14 drivers in the playoffs, 8 drivers tonight will continue on into the next round, as 6 of them will be going home and watching from their couch.
Well, they won't be watching from the couch. They just will not be participating for that championship trophy at the end of the season, Roger. So they'll be out here trying to be, well, the spoiler of what could have been. Butler out on the front of this one. Wells is still second. Things starting to simmer down, so let's take a look back here. There's still Sean Single starting to make his way back towards the front as he works underneath Trevarthen, trying to get a 2-for-1er in the turn number 1.
I think he just hit a little bit of that grass down there on the front straightaway. I think I saw it shoot up off the left front of that Ford F-150, but I don't believe he kicked it in four-wheel drive. But what I can tell you is he turned on the afterburner. He did get around the 62 of Ethan Troutman. Those are 2 drivers that are battling inside the championship 14. That really has to get going here tonight. One driver has retired tonight, and that is the number 43 of Joe Strano. And I'm being told the Philly Edwards crew has loaded up the 973. So Philly Edwards here tonight, the hipster, who smokes too many cigarettes, he says, is out of this one. He's probably already chain smoking. But, Al, you're telling me these drivers, if they don't make the next round of the playoffs, they're not going to be sitting on the couch like the Kansas City Chiefs?
Absolutely not. Yeah, they're not going to sit there licking their wounds, saying what could have been. They're going to be out here racing next week at Phoenix in that next-gen car. Going to put on a show for all the great fans of the Turn 3 Racing Network and the Red Light Go Scrambler series here, presented by Checkered Flag Auto Supply. So maybe they'll head down to Checkered Flag Auto Supply, Roger, get some of those updated parts for the next gen, go to Phoenix and put on a show and try to play spoiler for the guys that are in the chase as well still.
Well, right now, I can tell you that the all-time winningest driver is at the front of the field, and when he gets to the front of the field, Sean Butler is one of the hardest drivers to get around. If he was buried back into the field there, he would probably try to go into conservation mode and save a little bit of that fuel. But right now, he is out front pulling the big train around the speedway, closing in on the halfway point home. And as we close in on halfway, we're closing in on another round of pit cycles. Looks like about 6 to 7 laps away from the green flag pit cycles, round number 2. That will start to make their way down pit road. As you see, one car that was going a lap down there, that's the 59 of Bruce Potter. As now the battle is for second, as here comes the number 2, the Rev Esports driver out of Florida. He is racing in a parka here tonight. Well, that's because it is so cold down there. He's trying to also save those, what are they, the iguanas that are falling out of the trees?
Yeah, you're not supposed to touch those, Roger.
Oh, I can't bring one home as a pet.
Well, you could, but you might get mauled. I did hear a story once that a guy put them all in his car and they all came alive and they mauled them.
Well, I don't need that many. I just need one to play with, but I guess I'll tell Michael Trevarthen just to put that one back on the ground underneath the tree, because right now Trevarthen will actually not be able to complete that pass and will fall now back to the 4 spot. The storm from the north has blown in. He is sitting third. That's Max Terriot right now. So it's Butler, Wells, Terriot, Trevarthen, Skelton, your top 5. Zach Mitchell's back there running into the 6th position with Chris Hammett a little bit farther back. Hammett running in 7th. DJ Anderson is 8th. Jeffrey Souza is running in 9th. And how about Sean Single? He's back into the top 10. He is trying to close in on his New England native there. Jeffrey Souza driving car number 4 right out ahead of him as we are next time by over halfway.
Yeah, we're going to be halfway into this race. We're going to be starting to wind the clock backwards towards that white flag where, Roger will sing for us all during that white flag, but hope you have your earplugs, folks.
I thought you were singing here tonight.
Oh, no, that was not part of the contract, I didn't think.
Oh, we can write it in. We'll see if we can call up the head guy over here and see if he can write that in real quick. As you see the 11 single, he goes down low. He'll slide up in front of the number 4, so that'll give Sean Single back the 9th position. That's where he was right before we started to show his baby picture here. Why don't we give you race fans another look at it here? It's right there on the right-hand side of your screen. Look at the cheeser. Yeah, he's got a good-looking shirt on. He's got the Sunday dress going on there. He's a one good-looking, handsome fella. No wonder he's no longer single. Drivers coming to pit road, though, early here. Here comes the number 64. Jason Wells will start the trend here on lap number 47. It'll be Wells, it'll be Hammett, Single, Souza, and Combs, the golfer that's trying out for the, I believe, the ladies tour this season. Tim Combs coming to pit road.
Hey, that's better than I won't even let me on the junior tour.
I wouldn't let you on the amateur junior tour either. Heck, Al, I don't think you could cut it on the senior tour.
Probably not.
Yeah, don't worry, neither could I, but here comes the 88 of Butler. He'll overcook the entry, sideways locking it up. He'll get down to pit road speed. I do believe he made pit road minimum speed. I believe he was actually just slightly under it. So Sean Butler with that Team RWB just getting down to minimum speed. He did bring the number 86 of Skilton along with him. Michael Trevarthen, Travis Minto, and Brandon Minto also along down on pit road. That'll turn things over. Max Terrell's from the race lead for the time being. When will he come to pit road? It will be this time by. He'll storm into pit road.
Gonna slow it down, lock it down to pit road speed. Is Max Terrell going to give the race lead over to DJ Anderson in car 51. He's the one car left. Tony Strano also, and Kevin O'Brien, your top three drivers that still have to come down the pit road. So Max Terrell will make the left-hand turn into his pit stall. The crew will go around to the right side to put right side Mr. Goodfield's on that automobile. But right now, DJ Anderson working through turns 1 and 3 and 4. He'll make the hard left-hand turn, so everybody's cycling through. And where will everybody cycle out? I believe Sean Butler is going to come out as our race leader once it all cycles through. And he's got about a second gap over Wells. So great on and off pit road for that number 88 here, the enriching veterans. The number 88 working off turn number 2.
Two drivers actually still have yet to come to pit road. We're still waiting for Tony Strano. It's his fault here tonight, but he is the only Strano that's left in this race here. So Tony Strano and Kevin O'Brien. It does look like Tony will bring down the Victory Junction number 3 to pit road. Let's see if he makes minimum pit road speed. He does. Here comes Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien's going to try and pass him sideways for the 184. Kevin O'Brien. He'll take out Mr. Cone. I know it was your friend, Al, but it just got taken out by Kevin O'Brien.
Oh, just knocked the upside smiley face to a frown there. The 184 of O'Brien does, but he'll get the pit road. But that will give the race lead this time by. It'll be the 88 of Sean Butler. He'll flash by those drivers down on pit road. Bell is starting to close the gap in on him. They're out third, and it'll be Skelton and Trevarthen, your top 5 after that second wave of pit stops. I believe we'll have one more round of stops. These drivers are going to have to tippy-toe because they could lose the race if you get caught speeding on pit road during the next pit cycle.
Chris Hammond is back there running into the 6th position. One of the biggest movers, though, on and off pit road, having a blistering pit stop. That's going to be the 11 of Sean Single. He'll pick up 2 spots. He's now running into the 7th spot. Zach Mitchell is back there running in 8th. Jeffrey Souza is 9th. DJ Anderson will drop a spot. He's back there now into the 10th position. That's your top 10 after our green flag pit cycle, as there is the race leader. Sean Butler currently holding a 1/10 of a second, calling about a car length, maybe car length and a half down the back straightaway. But man, that 64 is there. Expect to see the 42 in the next about 5-6 laps start to really close in on that gap also. He is sitting back there as he right on board with Max Terrell with that Red Light Racing onboard camera car number 42. He has picked up 3 spots tonight after the green flag pit cycle. He is sitting there, P number 3.
And you see them jostling for that race lead, and that's only allowing the 42 to draw in close now within 10 car lengths. They work off number 2 as they work down an Ellis backstretch. Here it is, a 3-car tango now for the front as Daryl has got the lock in on that 64, trying to close in. It's amazing the hole that these trucks put in the air and how fast they can suck up. 3-car breakaways now. Butler's all the way down to the apron, trying to break that draft.
Butler goes to the apron to try and break the draft, but he's got 3 cars now, including himself, so 3 cars. And then this group of cars being led by James Skelton, Michael Trevarthen, Chris Hammond, Zach Mitchell, Sean Singles in here, and I believe that is the lap car. That's car number 13 of Joshua Buckley. He's also thrown into the mix here tonight at Las Vegas as we're already halfway home, as Sean Singles trying to close in to try to make the pass on the number 24. Currently, there goes Brandon Feeney. He goes another lap down here tonight. One driver that has not been able to make it back out onto the racetrack, that is the 01 of Richard Murdoch. He's still sitting on pit road, hoping that this race is going to be hit by the caution bug, because he needs some caution laps to help get that motor. I believe, if my math is right, he is sitting currently about 7 minutes away from the crew, dropping a brand new Chevy motor in the 01, and he'll be able to return to the racing surface, and he should be able to pick up 2 spots if he can get back out there, because Philly Edwards has called it a night in the 973. He is completely done. His crew is loaded up. They are gone already. Joe Strano in car number 43. He is also loaded up. The driver out of Applegate, Wisconsin, is out of this race also. He is gone tonight.
A little bit of a stumble there for you, Roger.
Yeah, and the saddest part about it is we still didn't even get that right, because Joe Strano is actually, he has moved. I believe it is now Neil or something like that. So
He's from Wisconsin.
yeah, he's somewhere out there.
Somewhere out there in Wisconsin. Great skate. Whatever. Yep.
See, now the bug has bit you.
Up here.
You go ahead and you want to start picking at the nitpicks up here, and look who's now got the tongue twister. What I can tell you is we're going to twist this lap off the board. It'll be 57 laps completed with Sean Butler out front, and we talked about that group that was back there behind him in the draft. We talked about it all night long. It was Butler, Wells, and Terrill. Now you can add Skelton, Trevarthen, Hammett, Mitchell, and Single, along with Buckley, all in this front group of cars. They are all separated by just 1 second.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast they caught that lead duo. I would have thought with a 3-car tangle up at the front of this one being single file, they're kind of just riding there, that they would have been able to pull away from that group. But now it's a 6-car race for the race lead. Is now Mitchell going to go underneath Hammett for that 6th position. He'll get the pass here in the turn number 1. Everybody single file the top 5 cars. I tell you, Skelton has been quietly running inside the top 5, Roger. He's the only Toyota in the field. He's got that TRD engine singing, and he is sitting pretty right there in that 4th position.
How comes everybody is singing here tonight in Las Vegas? Is everybody trying to be a show person?
Well, they're trying to get down at the win, I think. Get down on stage where they could, maybe make up for the position or the money they lost at the tables.
Well, we'll see who's going to be singing the pretty tune here tonight, as you do see the 86, the Flowertown Animal Hospital, number 86 of James Skelton, who was able to pick up 2 back-to-back series championships here on Monday night. We'll see if he's able to do it once again this season. He has to have a good run here tonight, and that's what he is doing as they're come by. This time by, we'll see 30 laps to go on the infield scoring tower. So 30 laps to go as James Skelton runs there in that 4th position. Michael Trevarthen is still there. Look at Max Terrill. He is running about a car length and a half up down there in turns 1 and 2 compared to the 86 of James Skelton. Skelton was kind of right down, tucked around the bottom, trying to make it the shortest distance around. This time, everybody down to the bottom in 3 and 4.
And don't look now, Sean Single trying to make a move underneath that number 6 of Hammett. So Single really starting to rally after he dropped a few positions during that last run. And he has brought the number 13 of Josh Buckley. Unfortunately, Buckley 1 lap to the arrears, but he is right there in case something happens. I believe he would get that free pass if the yellow flag were to fly with just 28 laps to go. Question for your knowledge book here, Roger.
I don't have one.
Well, I'm going to make it up then. Once we hit 25, 26 laps to go, which we are within a lap of, be a short pit and try to get if you're with a strategy, get on some fresh tires, make up some ground before your race leaders hit pit road, or do you stretch the fuel in case that yellow flag comes out?
I think we're going to see Wells pit here first. He was the first one to come down pit road under the first 2 green flag pit cycles here tonight. He was running second at the time of both of them. He is second here currently. Then you see your other 2 race leaders. Sean Butler, he came down 1 lap after Jason Wells, and then a lap later came down Max Terrill. And they're running 1, 2, 3. Well, correction, because here comes James Skelton now. But I do believe that you will be able to pit in one of those first 3 laps of your whoever comes first to pit road, and then be able to hold on to what your position would say. So we'll see. As long as you have a good in and a good out of pit road, you should be able to hold strong back into the lead draft. But remember, last time we did see James Skelton take about 10 laps to get right back to the back bumper of the front 3. So we'll see if you don't have that good of a pit road exit and it's kind of slow coming up through the 4-speed, you may be the odd man out here at the end.
Definitely could be. It's interesting to see what the strategy's going to play. That's what these guys have to decide in the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series here for the Red Light Racing Series. As your top drivers all still staying out on the racetrack. Nobody peeling off just yet, as we're going to have 24 laps to go. Make it 25 laps to go this time by. Butler now starting to stretch it out almost 0.3 of a second. I believe that might be the largest lead we have seen all night long, as Max Terrell still running above those bumps through turns 1 and 2. And late in a run, your truck does get light. The tires are worn out. Those bumps can throw you around, and you don't want to get tossed around here at the speeds that these trucks are going around.
I'm taking a look at it, and I think what's happening here, Al, is these front drivers, they're trying to do the calculations on the pit boxes, and yeah, you could have came down on lap 26 and came right across the line on fumes. What they're trying to account for, though, is a late race green-white checker. So maybe you're going to see them run to about 22, maybe 21 laps left here tonight. You want to be able to make it if that green-white checker comes out, because there's still a lot of drivers on the lead lap here tonight. You don't want to pit and everybody else stay out. Then, yeah, you have fresh tires, but what do you do when you still have 20 cars on the lead lap here? I mean, 20 cars, that'd be a lot of cars to try and get around in just a green-white checker attempt.
Yeah, definitely a lot of strategy being played. You see the 64 Wells working up the racetrack. Dario able to get by him for a second. Will he be able to chase down Sean Butler? We know that they have 1 lap difference in tires. Is 1 lap that big of a difference this late into a run with 23 laps to go? They come off of turn number 4. Everybody's still staying on the racetrack. Make it 22 to go at the line.
22 laps to go for Sean Butler out front. Some drivers towards the mid-pack are coming to pit road, though, so it'll be Jeffrey Souza, Travis Minto, and Ethan Troutman all starting the pit cycle here with just 22 laps to go. 3 drivers coming to pit road, all of them getting down on pit road just fine. 1 driver actually snuck in last time by. That was the Get Upside Chevrolet, the driver out of Norman, Oklahoma. It's Flyboy Brandon Minto. He will actually be the first one to come to pit road all by himself. We'll see him, and if he can come up to speed, as the leaders are now this time by coming to pit road.
Sean Butler going to peel off the racetrack. He'll lead Jason Wells, Chris Hammett, and Sean Single as Hammett goes around. The number 6 of Hammett sideways on the entry. That's going to kill his run here. He'll need a yellow flag to make up for the time lost, Roger. A costly mistake by the number 6. Don't know if there was contact. Him and Single were really running hard towards the end of this last run.
Well, let's see if we can watch it back here. I do believe we have it, as that's Chris Hammett entering his pit stall. We got to see if we have Chris Hammett entering pit lane. Here it is. Watch it back, as there's the 11 of Sean Single right behind the 6 machine. Looks like there's definitely going to be contact. Both drivers lost control of their Fords out there. Maybe it's a Ford downshift problem here tonight. We've seen a lot of the Fords have issues coming to pit road, and the 11 had some issues, and the number 6 had some issues, but, well, that's going to see how this all plays out. The 42 of Max Terrill this time coming down pit road by himself. He'll actually bring along Zach Mitchell. DJ Anderson has been the last one to pit every time we've come to pit road, so 19 to go. DJ Anderson is still out there onto the speedway. Remember, he is in. He won last week. He is just here trying to get a trophy in Las Vegas, and then he'll take the big check, and he'll go down to the MGM, and he'll bet it all on, I bet it's green, because that was his lucky color last week. That Mountain Dew Baja Blast entry has the green marker above his name there. It's highlighted in green. He is moving on to the next round as he moves down to pit road. He'll bring the 13 of Joshua Buckley this time, and Buckley's going to get down on pit road without having any issues there. You see the 51 was a little sideways, but he gathered it up, and all is well as he made it to pit road.
Everybody cycling through. Tony Strano coming down pit road as well, bringing Blade Timmons and Kevin O'Brien. So that'll get your race lead back once it cycles around, I believe, the number 88 of Butler. But Timmons out front. When was Blade Timmons on pit road? He's on pit road right now, so he will give up the race lead. So Butler, Theriot Wells, after that round of pit stalls are done. And I tell you, Butler really stretched it out. We're going to see how fast the pack will catch this 88 with 18 laps to go.
This is the biggest race lead we have had all night. It is about 1.7 seconds for Sean Butler. The only difference is now the 42 of Max Terrell. He has a drafting partner. His name is Jason Wells. So Wells is right there. Do they push each other, or will they end up racing for the spot? I'm sure there's communications going on between the two crews here right now as they work off turn 4. It'll be just, I believe, this time by 17 laps to go as Butler, Terrell, Wells. Then it's going to be Sean Single. You talk about a pit road entry that could have been absolutely disastrous for the number 11 of Sean Single. He actually comes out sitting there in the 4th position. He'll gain spots again on pit road.
He's under attack, though. The 86 of Skelton going to take a look to the inside with that Toyota, and he'll try even and make the pass on the 11 of Single. You got to wonder, does Single do an audible and take 2 tires to try to save some time on pit road? This car looks like to be a handful for him so far. Is now Trevarthen and the 24 of Mitchell will work by that Jurassic Park entry as they work off turn number 2.
So that'll put Single back to currently running in the 6th spot. He still has Zach Mitchell right there. They go single file. Then it's Jeffrey Souza back there running in 8th. Travis Minto is in 9th. He's the first driver that is not in the championship contenders. As then you have the number 5 of Brandon Minto back there. 15 laps to go that time by at the line here tonight. These laps are clicking by very fast. Tony Strano and Blade Timmons trying to battle. You see them right there. 2 Chevrolets. They're battling back there in the 16th and 17th position. It is definitely Tony Strano's fault here as he is trying to work the inside of the speedway. Timmons that time is a little sideways off turn number 4. Kill a little bit of momentum in that car, as now it will be Tony Strano down into turn number 1. Looks like Blade Timmons will concede that position.
He'll move by there as they work around the speedway. That race lead now down to under a second. They are catching the 88 of Butler as Butler has a buffer between them of 2 cars being, well, not down, that's the 59 of Bruce Potter and Buckley. Josh Buckley in between your race leaders is now the 59 of Potter will get out of the way and allow Theriot to get on by. So Theriot down now half a second with 13 laps to go.
Max has the draft between those 2 lap trucks. That's what really pulled him back into the 88 of Sean Butler. Butler was pulling those lap traffic cars right along with him. Now Max will get down to the bottom side with 13 to go. It's about 0.2 of a second is the difference between 1 and 2. And now here comes Wells. He was back almost 2 seconds back. Now he's under 1 second with 13 to go. They're getting 12 to go this time by, and it is still anybody's race here tonight at the old Las Vegas Motor Speedway here tonight. 12 laps to go. It is Butler, it is Terrell, it is Wells across the line.
Terrell is there stalking the backside of Butler as they work off of turn number 2. Not a lot of movement in that racing wheel off the corner, so Theriot's car really coming in the trucks. Have to put a dime in that nickel jar there, Roger. But I'll tell you, Butler really doing a good job, maybe conserving his tires. Ran the high line last time by at the line. He is still leading, and it'll be 11 laps to go next time by. Our flagman will give him the high 5 times 2.
So coming back to 10 laps to go here tonight. Butler, Terrell, Wells, Skelton is back there. He is holding on to that number 4 spot. Still got Michael Trevarthen right behind him. Zach Mitchell a little bit farther back, and Sean Single running into that 6th position. Jeffrey Souza still back in 8th. Travis Minto, Brandon Minto, as we get the double high 5s at the line. It'll be 10 more times around this 1.5 mile speedway in the Las Vegas desert. It is still Sean Butler out front. Now the battle, though, back there between the number 4. That is Jeffrey Souza. He is to the inside of car number 19. So Souza trying to hold off and defend that spot because he knows that is going to be 1 point right there. He is going to lose if that number 19 of Travis Minto can get around him. And remember, last year, the number 4 of Souza made it all the way to the championship race at the Phoenix International Raceway. He was the only driver that was able to point his way all the way to the championship round, and it came down to him battling some of the top drivers of the series and came up just a handful of spots short from winning his first ever championship.
He would like to redeem himself, and it ends all this season after tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. So 200 lap affair at the Martinsville Speedway, and that is how we're going to sign our championship. A little bit of short track action for you I tell you, the action is heating up. Max Stereo is there. He's looked to the outside. He's looked to the inside. He'll follow the tire tracks in the turn number 1.
He slides a little high this time, down in between turns 1 and 2. Maybe a little bit of a crossover slingshot move coming here. Car number 30 of Bob Higgins is up ahead of your race leaders. He will be in contention here. He will be in play as the battle is for that third spot. Here comes the 86. James Skelton will work to the inside of the number 64 of Jason Wells. Wells knows what's on the line here tonight with just 8 laps to go. It'll be 7 to go that time by as they came across the stripe. The 42 of Max Terrell is pushing the 88, though, of Sean Butler into turn number 1. This is going to be a good one because there's no lap traffic now separating your top 7 drivers. They are all nose to tail, maybe about a car length and a half, 3 car lengths at most between some of these drivers. But this one is still going to be good. As Skelton, let's check the times when they come out of turn number 4. When they come across the line, they've got 6 laps to go. Who will have the fastest lap? And it's definitely going to be that 42. Max Terrell slingshot to the outside. Sean Butler going to block the advances of that at the line. Identical times, 31:13 for your race leader, 31:13 for second. And then they all fall off about 2/10 behind the race leaders.
Fastest truck last time by was the driver actually in the 6th position, the 24 of Mitchell, as all eyes are on your top 2. Thurl has tried the inside, tried the outside. He's even pushed the back bumper down the straightaways a couple times, trying to figure out where to make the move. Maybe get to the outside, do that side draft, suck the 88 backwards a little bit. And this is moment. Thurl took a look to the outside, couldn't quite do it. Now he'll cut it down low off of turn number 2. Bid for your race lead down the backstretch.
Here comes the 42. He's got the bumper of that Silverado now right there at the back quarter panel there, the 88 of Butler. He'll be able to pull even down here in 3 and 4. They do have the lap truck. That's truck number 30 of Bob Higgins. It'll be 4 laps to go. The battle is for the race lead. Who will have it at the line? Give it to Sean Butler by about a tire at the line as they go down into 1. Higgins still running down there. He'll go to the bottom side of the speedway. Will he be able to give the draft the advantage to the 42 of Max Terrell? Let's see how this all works out down the back straightaway. Where does Higgins go? Higgins runs about the middle groove, so kind of call it an even battle there, as actually the 88 of Butler had a great run down the back straightaway.
He did, but now the inside line going to prevail off of turn number 4. Butler right down on the right rear quarter panel, trying to get the draft to suck the 42 back. He'll come down a little bit more, but now Max Stereo has her race lead. Butler challenges back to the outside as they battle this. They are getting further away from your 3rd place driver, which is Skelton, who just drove around the 2 at Trevarthen. Here comes Butler once again with a great run off turn number 2. Butler going to try to use the draft of Higgins to get by the 42 at they're still door to door through turns 3 and 4.
This time by, the old popsicle sticks are going to be wide them up. It'll be 2 laps to go, 3 more miles of racing. Oh, contact for the race lead. Both your race leaders going to make contact now. Here comes the 86 of Skellen. He'll close in. He'll pull the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen right along with him. It'll be Max Terrell coming out with the race lead, but there is damage to the front 2 trucks here. There is left rear damage to the 88 of Sean Butler. There is right front damage to the 42 of Max Terrell. Here comes the 2 Trevarthen. He is shoving on the back bumper of the 86 of James Skelton. They will be looking for the white flag this time out of turn number 4. It'll be 1 lap to go, presented by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Max Terrell's under the stripe first.
They're trying to hold away, but he's got heavy right side damage. They're going to slow down that 42 of Theriot. Theriot came in needing a win. Mitchell now works the outside of the 88 of Butler. Butler is in trouble. Last chance down the backstretch. Can Skelton get there? He'll take a peek to the inside. Theriot has 1 set of quarters to get through.
Final time in 3 and 4, coming out with the race lead out of turn number 4 and punching his ticket into the next round of the playoffs. The Storm from the north invades Las Vegas. Max Terrell will win here at Las Vegas. James Skelton, Zach Mitchell, Michael Trevarthen, Sean Butler round down the top 5. It'll be Jason Wells back there in 6th, Sean Single in 7th, DJ Anderson is 8th, Travis Minto is back there into the 9th spot. Jeffrey Souza will finish in the top 10. 11th will go to Ethan Troutman, Brandon Minto, Chris Hammett with a disappointing finish here tonight, 13th, and I don't think that's going to cut it for the number 6 of Chris Hammett to make the next round of the playoffs. It'll be Dave Bragg in 14th, Tim Combs rounding out your top 15.
What an exciting finish there. You see the battle scars on the 42 as he brings it down the front stretch. He will burn it down in front of a packed house here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Roger, have you ever seen anything like that before? They were racing so hard at the end there. Heartbreak for the number 88 of Butler. Theriot's going to go on and he'll race in the next round for the championship.
That'll be the round of 8 he punches his ticket to, and we have to wait to see how everything shakes out, who is in, who is not, and we'll see if we can get that info for you here tonight. Race fans, of course, all the time. Again, scoring here tonight that is brought to us by SDK Gaming. It is all, of course, unofficial here tonight. We have to wait and see what the officials have to say at the end of this one, but it is right now being scored as Max Terriel, James Skelton, and Zach Mitchell across the line first. We'll be right back here to the Las Vegas Motors Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada, here tonight to talk to your top 3 in the post-race show.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Officially 90 laps here in Las Vegas for these Gander Outdoor Truckers for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series presented by Red Light Racing is in the books here. This was a cut race, and it was one of those cut races that you wanted to make sure you went to victory lane. The driver that will go to victory lane, he has pulled his car actually directly back to the hauler. He says he's already loaded up. He wants to get to Phoenix International Raceway. That's Max Terrell. He's your race winner here tonight, so we'll see if we can catch up with Max while he's on his way to Phoenix. He will officially lock himself in to the round of 8 and continue his championship hopefulness, at least here, into the next round, and that will hope to start at the Phoenix International Raceway, and then we will head to Texas. So congratulations to Max for taking the top spot here tonight. But Al, I believe you are standing by with the driver that finishes second. He also will advance into the next round of the playoffs.
With the number 86, James Skelton. And Skelton, you led the Toyota Brigade here tonight, being the lone Toyota guy. But talk us through this race. How tricky was it to get on the pit road, having that long green flag, running 3 cycles through pits, coming off of pit road with those hot tires? It had to be tricky out there.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting race for sure. Getting on pit road the past 2 weeks, I've had major incidents getting on pit road. So I really think the race came down to getting off pit road and who can kind of save that extra lap of fuel. That's what Max did, and I think Zach was doing that too, but he was just maybe a little bit too far behind. But that really made the difference.
Yeah, this racetrack, you guys put on a great battle. It seemed like you guys just could not get away from each other. We saw some big leads there late. Sean Butler had a 1.7 lead, and you guys were able just to catch them so fast, and then they started battling for the race lead. What were your thoughts in the closing laps there towards the end?
Well, I wanted a podium finish, but my ultimate goal is to make it to the next round. But it's just really, really hard because when you see, because I knew I had 1 lap fresher tires in the wells, that I really, really wanted to at least get third to talk to you guys. And then I saw the mayhem in front of me and actually thought I might, had a chance for it. Maybe Max had some damage or whatnot, but he got the win, and that was definitely one of the more interesting races that I've ever been a part of. That we went, almost essentially 90 laps, probably 85 laps there, and there was like 6 cars under a blanket. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of intense racing, probably white-knuckled on the steering wheel here tonight. But going into the next round, you should advance easily. Came in just 5 points behind, leading the guys without the win here tonight, so you should move on with the second-place finish. You have Phoenix next week with the next-gen car with the new update to that. What is the outlook? Have you been able to run any laps in that car since the update came out with the rule package?
Negative, and I do put a good bit of practice in during the week, and I'm flying out to go out of town from Tuesday to Friday, so I'm going to be way behind. So this coming weekend, I'm going to have to definitely put some seat time in and just try to get acclimated to the car, and because Phoenix is usually a pretty good track to me, but I have no clue how this car is going to drive.
A lot of unknowns coming up for the driver of this 86 in 1 week's time, but before we let you go, we got to roll the red carpet out. Let you thank all those who make it possible for you here to round up on the podium here tonight at Las Vegas.
Yeah, for sure. I want to give a shout out to my sponsor on the race, Flowertown Animal Hospital. My wife, she's an office manager there, and I always like to support them. My teammates, Sean and DJ, we definitely, Sean and I specifically, we put some good practice in. DJ, he's our strategist. He's awesome. But the pit strategy, you guys for putting an awesome broadcast, all the sponsors that come on board week in and week out, we definitely appreciate it, and all the drivers for coming out and sticking out. I think our league is just getting stronger and stronger, and I think we proved it tonight, and I think that's it.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The driver of the 86 of James Skelton, is he'll come home in that number 2 position, and I believe Roger is down here on pit road with a Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah, he took this rainbow and slid all the way to the other side here at the end of this one. How about it, Zach Mitchell? Kind of popping out of nowhere when the chaos kind of started out front, and it will put you on a podium here. It looked like a solid top 5, and now you walk away with a 3rd place finish here tonight.
Yeah, it was good. I stayed in the back and just followed the pack around, saving the tires, and especially that last run too was really big. I was able to pass a couple guys at the end there was saving a couple tires on the outside, so it was a pretty good run, and I needed it after last week.
Yeah, you came in here tonight. You were sitting 11th in the championship standings. You were 6 points out from transferring in, and I'm doing the quick math here in my head. I'm looking at it. You're going to be right on the bubble to see where all those bonus points get shuffled in here tonight. You didn't tick up that bonus point here tonight for leading a lap, so that's going to put you right there on that cut at that 8th position. It'll be you, and I do believe that Jeffrey Souza entry that will be battling for that last position. What's it going to mean if you can get that 1 extra point here that you would have needed tonight to get into the next round?
It would have meant a lot, I was hoping maybe to get up there and win, but especially when the leaders had a problem. But that extra point, I missed out on the cut for the first cut last season by 1 point. So if I miss it out again, I'm not going to be happy, considering I've had a pretty good season so far.
Well, the 2 things that are going to help you is Joe Strano had a really terrible night, and Richard Murdoch right from the start here. He will finish back into the 26th and 25th for both those 2 drivers. So that's going for you. We'll have to wait and see because, well, the official ruling here tonight is unofficial from this point forward. So, man, a great run here. But if we do make it in, how do we feel our chances are going from one desert to the next at Phoenix?
Phoenix usually isn't bad. I have a Thunderfoot, which isn't very good for Phoenix, but I'll get some practice in here tonight. I usually do some practice, and we'll see what goes on the rest of the week. I might be able to hop on and get some practice in, but with the next gen car, who knows?
That is always going to be the wild card, but we do head there. And then how about it? We head down to Texas, another little bit of what you can call a little bit of a desert down there. We're going to do the old 2-step. Down at the Texas Motor Speedway. You feel a little more comfortable when we head to Texas because there's the big wild card also at the end of the season, and it's called Martinsville.
Yeah, if I can get through Texas and if I can get to Martinsville, I like my chances at Martinsville better than the next 2 tracks. So if I can maybe get a couple top 5, top 3 runs next couple races, or maybe even sneak out a win, I should hopefully be pretty good for Martinsville.
Well, congratulations here tonight. Zach, for finishing on the podium. Who do you got to thank back home that helps the 24 week in and week out of the track?
I can't thank you guys enough for putting the broadcast on, and my sponsors, Rich DPC, put together a good PC for me because I'm not smart enough to build my own computer. So, but thanks to you guys and the admins at Red Light Racing, they put on a good series, and it's always fun to come out every week and run with them.
He told it to you, race fans. He's not a very smart person when it comes to the technology. I can attest to that. I've seen what he can do behind the scenes, and his whole sim racing setup looks like something I would have, well, we're just leaving it at that. It looks like something Al would have put together. But there it is. Zach Mitchell will finish third here tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Max Terrell picks up the win. He advances. James Skelton will advance with him. And it does look like Zach Mitchell will officially advance into the next round of the championship playoffs here. So he will be looking forward to heading to Phoenix. Al, it's been a whale of a race here at Las Vegas, though, but this is the final time we're going to get these Gander Outdoor trucks out this season, and they put on a heck of a show in the desert.
They really did. It came out here to Las Vegas, not really sure what we were going to see. Well, we're going to be able to stay here for a week, Roger. Maybe I'll bunk up with you down there at the Wynn or the South Point Casino. We'll do a little bit of gambling on your dime, and we'll head to Phoenix International Raceway in 1 week's time. But I tell you, the big thing I take away from here, the trucks put on one well of a show. The drivers, well, they are nervous about what is going to happen in 1 week's time with that new next-gen update. They have not had, sounds like, a lot of seat time with the new rules package that has been rolled out by the officials here for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler series, for the Red Light Racing series. And that is going to be one show you are not going to want to miss next week, Monday night, right here at 8 p.m.
So for everybody with the Red Light series, all the sponsors along with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, and all of us here from the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Roger Muth. That's Al Smith Jr. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We will catch you next week at the Phoenix International Raceway out there in Phoenix, Arizona. So until we see you next time, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we will see you in Turn 3.